everyone, I'm Aria and welcome back to the channel. So today is the 1st of October, so it is officially spooky season. And I thought this would be a really good one to kind of get started with because this was a requested build and I was really excited, and like I am usually when I get requests I'm always excited, but this one because this film is amazing. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest that you give it a try. It is on Disney Plus, and I'm sure you can find it other places too. It came out in '93, I believe, so I was only like a year old. But it is really good, really fun movie. And yeah, I really like it. So when I got the request to build this, I definitely had to give it a try. I know a lot of people have built this in the past. There will probably be multiple built this year as well. And it's so fun actually to see all of the different versions and how everyone's different building style, kind of how people interpret it, I guess, because of all of the ones that I have seen on the gallery, all the ones that I've watched on YouTube over the last couple of years, none of them are all exactly the same, and I think that's really fun. And it's really great that, you know, something like this, even though it's from a movie, it kind of generally does look the same. It doesn't, and I really like that. So this is the Sanderson Sisters cottage from the Disney movie Hocus Pocus, and you don't really see that much of this cottage in the movie. There's a little bit in the beginning and then kind of a bit when they change times. And to be honest, that's kind of all you see. The rest of it is in like the town. And when I was doing research on this build to see if I could find like construction photos or anything from the movie set, there really wasn't anything that I could find too much. There was mostly like stills taken from the movie itself, so it was really difficult to kind of get an idea of it. On the sign when they like change times yeah, on the sign that's outside, because they end up turning this into a museum, there's kind of like an outline of the lot, but there isn't like a floor plan, especially not of upstairs. So it was really tough trying to get an idea of what upstairs actually looks like, and I tried to find pictures and it was just really difficult actually. So I've tried to recreate it as best I can, but there are parts of it that are not true to the movie, and most of those is because I was trying to make it functional as well. So I decided to go with I don't actually remember the year exactly, but it's 1600 and something right in the beginning, and I tried to go with that to make it into like an actual witch's home instead of a museum like it is in the rest of the movie. So this fireplace here, I actually built this for my 100 medieval baby home, and I thought it was perfect for this kind of build too. I do tweak it ever so slightly to kind of make the colors match and just make it blend in a little bit better, but over in this little bump out section here is a really grand fireplace, and it's quite dark in the movie, so it's really difficult to kind of see all the little details, but I've tried to just make it look witchy and nice. So the little cauldron is from the spooky stuff. The wooden like logs I think are base game, and then the chain I have used the tool mod to create. They are little horseshoes. They're like a debug item from Outdoor Retreat, I think, and I thought they looked really cool in like this. They kind of look like a chain from far away. And I thought they looked really cool. I'm pretty sure I saw Sadie Sim do this, which is probably where I got the idea from, but I built that house, the medieval baby home, a little while ago now, so I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure. So here there is a ladder that you very briefly see right in the beginning of the movie, but then when they like jump forward 300 years when it's a museum, I'm pretty sure the ladder is no longer there. But like I said, I wanted to make this a functional home, and where this is actually quite a small build, if you go up the stairs you can only get to one side of the bed, so I thought the ladder was great because then you can get to the other side of the bed if you wanted, like, you know, two Sims to actually be able to use the bed. I don't actually know whether there are more beds upstairs or not. From the footage that I could find, or the screenshots, sorry, that I could find, I watched the movie like 4 times trying to get an idea of what it actually looks like. From what I could find, I can only see 1 bed. Now, there's 3 sisters living in this house, so there's got to be more beds, but I don't know where they are. So I've just included the 1, and to be honest, the way that I've built this, there isn't any more room for more. I did originally try to make this bigger so that there was a little bit more tile space upstairs, but then it was just way out of proportion, and it's quite a cozy small cottage, so I didn't want it to be, you know, too big. But I think it's quite squishy, but I still think it looks quite cute and cozy considering it's like an evil witch's home. So don't worry, for those of you who aren't necessarily too fond of spooky builds, I'm not going to have, you know, Halloween themed builds all throughout October, just a couple sprinkled here and there. The one that I have planned to come on Tuesday next week is definitely not spooky. It's like the complete opposite of this, and I'm really excited for you to see that one too, because I'm really proud of it so far, so hopefully you like it. This is one of the pieces from the, I think is it Country Kitchen or Cottage Kitchen, I don't remember the kit, and I wanted it above the windows, but it didn't fit, it was too big, so I thought it would be really good for above the fireplace. I was looking for items that were really dark in their wood tone that weren't black because the black kind of looks grey, if that makes sense. Like, I really liked the dark wood, but then like this box here, it's quite grey, it's not really the right colour, but there's some of the pieces have like a distressed look to them, which I really liked as well. What I am currently doing is trying to create like a custom shelving unit. I'm not really sure whether I actually achieved the look that I was going for, but it definitely looks interesting. So from the images that I could find and pausing the movie and kind of staring at it for a while, it looks like there is some kind of fireplace like shape over here, but then it's open to the water wheel on the other side, and then there's like a whole mechanism. Oh gosh, I can't. What was that? But there's like a whole thing, and then on the inside there's like 2 water wheels, or like the shape, but they are rotated like on the back, if that makes sense, like on the side. And I tried to do that, but the 2 water wheels from Cottage Living don't rotate like that. The one that came with Get Together does. Unfortunately, you can't size it down though, so it's kind of one does one and then the other one does the other thing, and neither of them did what I wanted to do, so I decided to just not include it at all and include the shelving unit, which is, I think it's like slightly over to the side. It's not like directly where I've put it. I think it's more like where the fridge is, but obviously in the movie there is no visible kitchen that we can see, or that I could see anyway, and so to make it functional I thought I would include one. I've just kind of put it in the corners at the front. We do get a very kind of small glimpse of the little bump outs at the front, like where I put the dining table and the kitchens. There's only one kitchen where I put this kitchen. Nearer the like beginning of the movie, we don't really see it too much towards like the rest of it. I know where I've put the kitchen there is like a sales desk, there's like a till and some other bits and pieces, but like I said, trying to go with the original build. All we really see is like storage boxes and like crates and things, so I have no idea like where their bathroom is, if they even have one, where the kitchen is. Again, they probably just use the fireplace to cook all of their things, because there is like a really tiny cauldron in there, so that's probably where they cook their food anyway. But obviously in The Sims you can't really do that. I think you can actually cook mac and cheese in the big one, but you know, I wanted to include at least some form of functional kitchen, so that's why I've done that. These candles here are the only ones, like wall mounted actual candles, that we have. I think I probably prefer the look of the ones that came with Get Together, but they're not actually candles, they're like electric candles. And I don't know, I don't really like the look of them. I haven't actually checked to see whether this is functional off the grid. I'm pretty sure it is, because I've used all like off the grid lighting. I'm pretty sure the fridge and the stove and the bathroom is all off the grid. It's just whether there's a couple of items. I'll have to go and check it, and if it is, then I will upload it as off the grid ready, you know. So this up here, there is a portrait. I'm pretty sure it is of Winnie, one of the sisters, but you don't really get to see it for very long or very closely. The only way that I could figure out that it could potentially be of her is I found I think it was IMDb, they had like pictures of the 25th anniversary. They had like a party, and like all the cast and everything had a party, and they were posing with like some of the set and the props that were kind of still around from the movie, and there was a portrait of Winnie, which I thought, well, if that portrait's there, I don't see it anywhere else in the film, so that must be the one that's on the wall above the stairs. So I've just put a picture up there. It's probably doesn't really match very well, especially considering the time period, but you know, we can pretend. So here, I really liked the distressed wood of these counters that I've used, but the top is like the same color, everything's the same color, and I didn't want it to be. I wanted it to look a little bit kind of dirtier. And so these panels that I've used on here are, I think I've used the Strangerville ones, but there are some that come with Eco Lifestyle too. I just liked the look of it. It kind of looks dirty. So I've used some of these harvestables and changed the size of some of them just to make them look a little bit different, and then positioned them on here because I really like the look of it. It just makes it look a little bit different. I spent ages trying to find these jars too. I couldn't figure out what they were called. I thought they were like aliens or something, but they've all got different names, so trying to search for them just wasn't working. But I found them eventually, and I just thought they looked really cool. So up here, I don't really know what is up here in the beginning of the movie, but when they turn it into a museum, it is kind of like a mount, I think, for 2 broomsticks, and I just thought it looked pretty cool, so I've done that here too, and just put 2 of the Realm of Magic broomsticks up here. The one that I have used against the fireplace is a different type, that's why I just changed to these ones, and to be honest, I think I prefer the look of these ones. They look a little bit more like the time period would be right, kind of a little bit more homemade. So up here is the only bedroom. As you can see, the upstairs is very tiny because quite a lot of it is open to the floor below. And you do see quite a bit in the film that there is, you know, nothing up here, that it's just not that there's nothing up here, that what do I mean? That like the floor is open to the floor above, sorry. room is open to the floor above. I don't know. You understand what I mean. And you know, in terms of the furnishings up here, we do very briefly see that there is a desk and like a piano sort of organ type instrument up here. I was going to include the one that we got with vampires, but it's a little bit too big, and the one that I've kind of made looks a little bit more, I don't know, appropriate in terms of like the scale. If I actually thinking about it, if I do make this off the grid, then I don't think that will work. I'm not sure. I've not actually tried it. But I found all of these books in I think they're debug, because they're like the spell books, and I thought they would be really cool as just like a display. I don't know whether you can actually read them the way that I've like positioned them, but I still think they look really cool. And I don't really know what I would have put on here. Normally I would have put like a laptop or something, but obviously time period wise this is kind of medieval-ish, so you know, it wouldn't work. Here I add another like cupboard counter storage thing and I just keep putting more of those books that I've put on the floor. I change it to the one from I've forgotten what pack it is. Jungle Adventure, this one. I liked the fact that there wasn't anything underneath, so that I could like fill it up with all of these books, and I put a couple of I think they're like base game ornaments on there, and I think they look really good too. What we kind of see, this window that I've put the two together to the left, we do see one of the characters crawling through this window right in the beginning, but it's so dark that it's really difficult to actually see what's up here. All we really see is a bunch of storage items. There's like a stool that's hanging from the ceiling and loads and loads of cobwebs. I have put the stool in here, but I don't put it next to this window. I put it over in the corner. I just thought it was a little bit more out of the way. I put it up over the top of the piano. I don't know, I just thought it looked better over there. So we don't really see much of over this side at all, really. There is a very small scene where Winnie is lying in bed, but it's literally very, very brief, and then she walks over to the window next to it and calls her book, and that's all we really see. So this store here is meant to be where I've put the painting over the crates, but I thought it was a little bit more out of the way over here, and I've just done the same thing with these horseshoes that I did with the cauldron in the fireplace, just to kind of create like a, I don't know, like a chain. I think it looks okay. I wanted to use the one that we got with Snowy Escape. I think it's like a rain decorative ornament, but it was just way too big and it doesn't size down, so I was really limited. I have used it, I will use it in a little bit because right at the end there's like 2 cages that 2 of the characters are being held in, and I don't actually know where they are right in the beginning of the movie, but I thought they were a nice decorative piece, if you can call cages a nice decorative piece. Not really, but you know, it filled in the space, and yeah, I just thought that they filled in the gap quite nicely, and then I could use these chains from Snowy Escape that I wanted to use. And you know, I thought it looked really cool from like looking from the floor below up. I don't know, I just liked it. And to be honest, there wasn't anything else that I could use. I was trying to find other things, but there wasn't really much else that I could do. I was really limited in terms of, you know, what makes a good cage. it's, you know, I do end up finding something else that I could have potentially used when I go to create the stand for the black flame candle. I put these sticks here thinking that I could just fill the gap, but I end up deleting them. So right here is where I create the I put the black flame candle. I used these chairs because I thought they made like a nice kind of caged frame sort of thing, and then where the seat section is, the back of the seat, it kind of creates like an interesting pattern. It's nothing like the one in the movie at all, but I still think it looks cool. And in terms of candles, we have no candles that are anything like it. These were the closest that I could get, but then when I tried to change the color of the flame, the only thing that I could change it to was like a dark blue, which is not the same at all, but you know, it will do. Considering we can even change the color of the lights at all, I think it's pretty good. So, you know, blue is fine. I'm not complaining. In here at the end of the movie is actually a broom cupboard. So you don't get to see very much of in here other than there's a broom, a mop and a vacuum. So I thought it would be a really good place to put the like the toilet, I guess. I haven't put a shower or a bath in here. I did plan on putting one a bath, sorry, over the other side, but then there wasn't any room. So if you want to play in this, then you know you will just need to add a bathtub or a shower or something somewhere. In terms of this kind of decoration that I've just put on the outside, or the wallpaper, it's a little bit more curved, and it's kind of goes over like 2 panels instead of just the one. And when I tried to like recreate that, I really struggled, and I couldn't find anything that was the right color that was also rotatable. There is like a live edit stick kind of post thing from I think it's from Eco Lifestyle, might be from Snowy Escape. It's the same color but it doesn't rotate, so I just went with the wall paint version instead because I thought that kind of looked close enough, and I cover it with all of these thorns and vines and things anyway, so I thought, you know, if I add too much detail it won't matter because you won't even see it. Out here it obviously changes a lot between the beginning and the end of the movie. I mean, 300 years will do that to a house. But I didn't really know what to do because the lot itself isn't particularly big enough really, but if I'd put it on a bigger lot I think it would have been too big and then the house would have been like lost in the middle. So I thought I would just put a bunch of trees around it. I picked these ones because I thought that they had a nice color to them, and this one in particular that's kind of over on the left hand side kind of looks like it could potentially pass for the hanging tree. I thought it was, you know, it kind of is the right shape. The actual cemetery itself isn't anywhere near the house in terms of like, it's not this close anyway, but I needed something to fill the gap, so I thought this was pretty good. I don't really know what's actually over this side. I know that to the right hand side, like where I've put this giant vampires tree, there is actually like a pathway in the end, or like a road I think that goes around the back of the house, but I thought, well, I'll just leave it as overgrown, and I thought that it looked pretty cool anyway. But yeah, I don't really do too much in terms of landscaping. It's very overgrown, very kind of randomly placed. I put quite a lot of mushrooms around because I thought they'd look cool and I like them, so that's why I've put those there. I put them everywhere, so I think at this point you're just going to have to assume that I'm going to put toadstools or mushrooms, whichever you want to call them, everywhere because I think they look really cool. I wanted to create a nice pathway, but when I tried to do this, I wanted it to look very patchy, like some of the stones were missing, but I couldn't really recreate it with the terrain paint, so I just used these pathway slabs instead, because they kind of look ish like what I was going for. They're a little bit more defined. I wanted it to be quite like subtle, but I think it's fine. And lastly, we just go in with some terrain paint. So that is almost it for today's video, or at least almost it from me. So I really hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. If you have any more suggestions for spooky builds, then please let me know and I will get to them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.